Hello and welcome to the show. Apologies because today's recording is an out and about episode, so there's going to be some noise in the background. Now, what I want us to talk about today is what to do when a client insults you. Okay, yeah. So the reason why we're going to look at what to do when a client insults you is because I saw a post on LinkedIn recently where a business owner, a Nigerian business owner, was complaining that a client insulted him, and he took a screenshot of the interaction between them, and then he put it all over on LinkedIn. So, yeah, that's what I want us to look at today. When a client insults you, what do you do? Instead of taking things and copying and pasting it on social media and trying to air your dirty linen in public. Now, first of all, what we do from a sales and business development perspective is the first thing we do is we try and take responsibility. We try and empathize with the person. I know some of you be saying empathize care. Like, am I mad? Like somebody's insulting me. Why am I empathizing with the person? Now, the reason why from a sales perspective we take this approach is because typically those of us who are sales professionals, when somebody begin to vex for us, the person begin to para anyhow. You understand? It's usually because something has gone wrong. There has been a difference in expectation. Things have not been communicated properly. Let's see what else. It's usually breakdown in these sorts of things. Now, for those of us who are professional salespeople, or for those of us who should consider ourselves to be professional salespeople, if we don't handle these things well, we end up what's that expression? Poisoning the well. Exactly. So we end up poisoning the well, and we could be tarnishing. I mean, we could be destroying any sources of potential revenue that could come from that particular contact, that particular human connection. So, for those of us who view ourselves as professional salespeople, we want to be very, very sure that if we are going to engage in a fight and cut somebody off, if we're going to engage in a fight and break somebody's head or whatever, well, I want to be sure that, how will I put it, it was worth the effort. But either way, what we do is we take professional responsibility, try and figure out what it is that is going on. So we take responsibility, we try and empathize with the person, we try and de-escalate the situation, we try and figure out the real problem, and then we come up with a counter proposal so that we can deal with it. So I repeat, your client insults you, you take responsibility or empathize, de-escalate the situation, figure out the real problems, and then deal with it. Now, first off, take responsibility. There's some of you who will assume that when I say take responsibility, it means admit that you're at fault. No, taking responsibility doesn't mean you're going to admit you're at fault. All that you're going to do is to take responsibility. All you have to do is just to tell the client, the customer, or whoever it is, just to tell the person, that, yeah, calm down now, relax. We're both human beings. I understand that there's a problem now. So don't worry. I'm going to take responsibility. I'll make sure that we get to the bottom of this thing, and then we'll figure it out. That's all I mean when I say take responsibility. De-escalate the situation, calm things down, tell the person that relax, don't worry. I need to understand what's going on. I'll take responsibility for this thing, and we'll figure out a way out of this impasse. Now, for those of you who are long-time listeners of the podcast, you remember the situation where, as a wedding photographer, because I started off in legal, I'm a former lawyer, now a business consultant, but in between, I've engaged in events, wedding photography, media production, documentaries, those sorts of things. So you remember the story I told you guys about the potential, sorry, not a potential, an actual client of mine who after the wedding, I wanted to use photos on Instagram, and the wife said she didn't want the photos on Instagram. So I told her, oh, no wahala, Shabi was saying later on, we'll talk about it. Now, later on, her husband called me up. Sorry, he didn't call me. He sent me messages threatening to call the military, threatening to call lawyers, because the guy is a military guy and all of that. And I saw the message. And, I could have thought, who the hell are these people? Now, on top of how much? Me, like, I'm a lawyer. So how would somebody come and be talking trash like this, towards me? I could have taken that route. But then what I did was I picked up the phone and then I called the guy. When you're trying to have difficult conversations, we must always call the people that we're having contact with. We always have to call the people because it's counterproductive and it's really hard to have difficult conversations over WhatsApp or over email or over text message. So I called the guy. Luckily, we had good rapport before the wedding. And I said, "Oh, but what's going on now? Why are they vexed like this?" And then I told him, "Look, guy, let's calm down. I understand there's a problem going on here, but let's be real with you. You know that I studied law. So if you want to engage a lawyer, how much are you going to pay them? On top how much? So guy, calm down. Let's figure out what's going on and let's solve the solution." That's it. That was me taking responsibility for the situation at hand. And with the situation de-escalated, he was able to talk freely. And from his own point of view, he didn't appreciate the fact that I was trying to ride his wife. That his wife had told me this is what me I want. I was thinking that maybe because I'm older than her or bigger than her, because me and the guy were of a similar age, and then his wife at the time, the age difference between them was almost like 20 years. So she's a much younger bride. So when I told her, "Oh, no, Wahala, no problem, we'll talk about it. Maybe I'm coming to the house later on," she just thought that, okay, oh, this guy is looking at me as per I'm a small girl. So he now wants to just ride me and do whatever. So she quickly called her husband. And you see, it was a very straightforward, simple something. And I told the guy that bros, if it's like this, you guys should have just told me now. That this is not the kind of thing that will reach up to this kind of level. And then, of course, I made a counter proposal. We finished, and then that was the whole thing. We cut the conversation. But if the guy responded, "Oh, I'll call military, I'll call my boys, I'll call lawyer," myself, I responded back, "Who the hell are you? Something, one thing," the thing would have blown up unnecessarily. So, from a sales perspective, take responsibility, be proactive, calm the situation down, figure out what the real problem is, and then deal with it. Then, yes, we must always use assertive language because you're a professional. And that is how people will treat you as a professional when you use assertive language. So, first of all, I called the guy. You can say that that's assertive behavior. I didn't hide behind the keyboard and begin to type anything. I called the guy. Then, so assertive language, assertive pose. Let's see what else. Because you're a professional, and then also you're a human being who is worthy of respect. Now, there are some situations where, for some of you, you're not the owner of the business. So eventually you might have to communicate with your line manager or communicate with your orga, So these things are essential. But just remember, we're always trying to calm the thing down, figure out the problem, come up with a counter proposal. And then later on, we're going to follow through with the proposal just to be sure that the solution was satisfactory. Yeah, let me put it that way. That whole, "Hey bro, what's up? How you doing? Concerning our last convo. So, I said this and this and this and that. So what do you think? Are you cool with this? You're okay with that?" That kind of thing. Then, this is where we need some mastery as professional salespeople. After that, after the quarrel, we now try and get a referral. Some of you be wondering like, did I hear you correctly? Yes, you heard me correctly. After this kind of thing, we try and get referrals. We try and get introductions because these kinds of situations are usually occasions where we create superfans. The superfan is just somebody who, like, the person values you, die. The person respects you, die. So now, especially in the Nigerian context, if you handle yourself well, you're cool and calm, under fire, your composure, never wavering. You understand? People see you and they know that, oh, he's a correct guy or this is a correct babe. And they can confidently refer you to anybody because they know that this person is a consummate professional and will always handle the situation with poise and with dignity. So, when your client insults you, this is how you handle yourself. Now, in case there are some of you listening to the podcast right now who have been in situations that are different from this, and you think the rules that I've given here, the guidelines that I've given here don't apply, that's not a problem. Just reach out to me. Call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. So, reach out to me. Let me know. Let's look at your own circumstance, and then we can use that as a case study in a future podcast episode. So, in a summary, this is how you handle the things when a client insults you. Now, the matter at hand. This guy that was provoking all over LinkedIn. Let's look at whether the situation was even an example of a customer insulting him. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. For those of you who think I'm making these things up, Too many of us, Nigerian business people and sales professionals, we have gotten into the habit of any small quarrel with our clients, we will go and be posting it on social media. Why? It's making us look petty. It's making us look like children. It makes us look unprofessional. One day, somehow, the professional client or somebody, sorry, the former client or somebody who knows the person will see it. And it now makes you look like a child. So we should stop doing this thing. I don't know if other people, I don't know if Australians do this, Americans do this, if people in the UK do it. It's just since I came back to Nigeria, I've been seeing this rubbish, and it's maddening. How you quarrel with your customer? You now go to share screenshot. Screenshot. The guy didn't just write about it. The guy took actual screenshots and started putting on LinkedIn. So even if somebody insults you, no screenshots, please. It's not professional and it's very, very petty. So this is what the guy wrote on LinkedIn. So the guy said that a client insulted him because the client sent his friend's message. Okay, how will I put it now? Okay, let's just say that the guy that put up this message, let's say his name is Kunle, and let's say that the client's name is Favor. So what Kunle said was that he finished a job for Favor, and then Favor now told Kunle that, hey, one of my guys want to do business with you, so call the guy. Then Kunle, the the designer now said, no, I can't call the person. That you should tell the person to call me. Then Favor, that's the client, now said, bros, you get pride though. And then that's when Kunle started to vex that, what do you mean I have pride? It is not pride. I know my worth and I'm a professional. In fact, to hell with this thing, I'm not interested in the job. Is that an insult? Let me repeat in case you didn't get it. A graphic designer did a job for a client. The client was happy and said, call this my guy. The graphic designer now said, no be me suppose call him. Now your guy suppose call me. Then the client now say, guy, you get pride though. And then the graphic designer now vex and say, pride how? I know my worth. In fact, I'm no longer interested in this job. That's how quarrel begin. Then the guy begin to post them for social media. So is this actually an insult? Or is it a lack of clear thinking around three main things? Number one, how to get and how to handle referrals. Number two, how to decide if an opportunity is worth pursuing. And then number three, how to start conversations without assuming lower social status. Let me repeat. This is not an insult. It's just that the business owner, in this case, the graphic designer, hasn't thought about three main things. Number one, he hasn't thought about a policy for getting referrals and handling referrals. Number two, he hasn't come up with a framework for deciding who is worth talking to, who is worth pursuing. And then number three, he hasn't figured out how to start a conversation without assuming a lower social status. That's because in this part of the world, in Nigeria, we're always worried that if I'm the one who speaks first, I assume, that means I have lost or I'm lower or something like that. It's something that people worry about too much in this part of the world. The fact that you're the one that talks first does not mean you're of lower social status. And hopefully by the time we're done with this podcast episode, I should be able to give you ideas for how to handle these sorts of situations. So, first off, what's a referral? That's for those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time. A referral just means when people make introductions. That's all. So for the graphic designer now that designs something for the client, and the client say, oh, this is my guy. The guy like your work, so call the guy. That is a referral because you're trying to make an introduction. Now, the reasons why referrals are important is because it's a way of getting repeat business and it's a way of maximizing customer lifetime value. Customer lifetime value just means this, that every single time you meet someone and you do business with someone, the person is not just worth the money you collect now, but the person is worth the amount of money that you can potentially collect from the person repeatedly over the future. So let me go back to the car example. I think that's one of the oldest examples I've given. Because for my first car, my brother-in-law bought a car from someone in Lagos. My brother saw the car and liked it. And so my brother bought the car. Then I saw those two cars and I liked it. Then me, I went to go and buy one car. Then Momsy saw the three cars, obviously, and liked it, so she went to go and buy again. Now, maximizing customer lifetime value means that when my brother-in-law, Patrick, bought the car from Muyua, the car guy, what Patrick was worth was not, by the way, then cars were cheap. So we bought all those cars, we bought them roughly, 1.5, maximum 2M. So, if you're a sharp business person, you realize that this person you're talking to, Patrick, is not just worth 1.2. The person is worth referrals that he can bring and other cars that he will buy later on. Because Patrick also went to go and buy two more cars from Muyua over the course of, another like 6 years. So, if you're a car dealer, the person who is standing in front of you is not just, okay, now cars are more expensive. Cars are now like, second hand is now like, maybe like 16, 20M. So the person you're talking to right now is not just worth 20M. The person is 20M plus cars that he will come back and buy in the future if you do a good job, plus other people that he can refer to. So those are the things that we talk about when we mean maximizing customer lifetime value. So that's why referrals are important, because it is referrals or introductions that unlock this key benefit, this big money. Because trust me, this is where the good money is from. Remember what I said. Patrick bought a car from Muyua, 1.3. My brother saw the car and liked it, and then bought 1.5. I saw the two cars and I liked it, and I bought it 1.3. Momsy saw the three cars and liked it, and she bought 2 point something. If you're smart, you will see that is where the good money comes from. That is where the big money comes from. So, I advise people, we don't mess with this. We try and prime it well. If you have like 10, 20 Patricks in your business, your life will change. You hear me? If you have up to 10, 15, 20 clients like a Patrick in your life, your business life will change. The goal is to see how many Patricks you can manufacture. Not to be going and be causing quarrel with people up and down. Now, how do you get referrals? The best way to get referrals is to ask and to be proactive. That is where you get the best results over time, because not everybody gives referrals. So if you do business with 20 people, you ask 20 of them for referrals. If you're lucky, maybe 5 or 6 will give you referrals. We're on our way. But the best way to get referrals is to ask. Now, for those of you who are not brave enough, you can rely on unsolicited referrals. Unsolicited referrals are situations where a customer reaches out without you asking, and then they say, call this my guy. Now, here's one thing that all of you need to appreciate, especially in the Nigerian context. If anybody gives you a referral, in most cases here, it's a compliment in Nigeria. Understand that one first. A referral in Nigeria is a compliment. Except for situations where, you are dirt cheap and, things like that. Then in that case, a referral just means like, I saw a massive deal. Go and call this guy because it's a massive deal. But assuming you're not the cheapest in your industry and stuff like that, you try to be professional. If somebody says, call this my guy, it's a compliment that they're paying you. It's a compliment. It's not an insult. So, what you should do now, if you have specific ways that you want people to interact with you in your business, you need to come up with a policy for how to handle referrals. But you need to discuss this thing with your business partner, with your wife, with your momsy, with your popsy, with your board of directors, with your whatever ahead of time. Then you also need to communicate these things to your clients who you seek to refer. You communicate it to them in a very nice, respectful way. So in the present case study now, this is how you could have solved the problem. First of all, pick up the phone instead of texting back and forth. Like I said, when you're trying to have difficult conversations, pick up the phone. The reason why we pick up the phone for difficult conversations is this. Whenever you are phone to phone with somebody, or you're face to face with somebody, it is the smoothest way to communicate, because number one, it is short and fast and quick. If you guys are texting, you'll be texting back and forth for 3-4 days, and with each message, you people are getting angrier and angrier. The situation is escalating. If you're face to face, you will shout 10 minutes, everything will calm down. Then also, you're able to communicate better phone to phone or face to face. You're able to communicate nuance better and then stuff like that. Because sometimes somebody will type something you think is an insult, meanwhile, no be insult. The thing even happened to me, I think like 2, 3 weeks ago. I typed something to my wife. By the time I came to pick up in the evening, she was thoroughly vexed, seriously vexed. I said, babe, what happened? She said, how you be giving me instruction as if I'm your secretary? I said, I said, calm down. And then by the time we discussed, it was a very simple something. Meanwhile, from the text message, my wife saw it and she's like, what the hell? Am I this guy's secretary? So it's a normal something. Even between husband and wife, you can see how complication can arise. Now, not to talk about clients who, like you will have just meeting yourself for the first time. So through typing, something that is not insult can look like insult. But if it's face to face or phone to phone, you'll be able to smooth over these things very, very easy. Because you can get more nuanced conversations. So, what the guy should have done first of all is pick up the phone. That's the graphic designer. Then, you should have told the client, say, boss, thank you for the referral. I truly appreciate it. The reason why you say thank you for referrals is because in this part of the world, remember, a referral is a compliment. They're saying that you are the very guy. Okay? Trust me, I've received a few. It's a good thing when somebody says, oh, Mr. Ayide, okay, I've heard a lot about you, so you are the guy. I can see why you came highly recommended. So it's a compliment. If you haven't received it yet, by the time you receive 2 or 3, you understand what I'm saying. So, first of all, you call the guy, you say, bro, thanks for the referral. I really, really appreciate. Then next thing you communicate your policy. Bros, I beg no vex. Sometimes, you know, say Nanaja we day. When sometimes in this kind of situation, if now you boss the person first, they no go rate you. That's your concern. And then you now continue. I hope say your guy no be that kind of person. You understand? You're communicating to the guy that look, this is my fear. I don't want to call somebody and then the person now go to, you understand? The person go to rate me as if I be houseboy or something. You tell him he's your client. He's your guy. Then you now tell him that, bros, I beg no vex. Next time, I'll prefer it if your guy is the one that calls me. You communicate it simple. And then you end the conversation and say, bros, I really, really appreciate your patronage. In fact, this referral that you brought, I will do you well. Any referral, continue to bring am come, I'm ready for you. You understand? With that kind of attitude, you see how one simple phone call, 10 minutes, you smooth over everything. Instead, sending messages back and forth with a screenshot put on social media. Like, what the hell is this? Why are we messing with our money? This is money we're messing with. Remember, I said that if you have some people where they refer you 5, 10, you will feel the difference in your bank account. You will feel it. I'm telling you. This is not an insult. This is not the kind of thing that should have blown up the way it did on social media. Of course, you know how social media is now. This is the kind of thing that are now trend. Eventually, the client will see it, and then what? You now start looking at the graphic designers and like, Omode, small boy. This guy is a child. And when he sees you think he's going to refer in the future? Anyway, so sorry, hold on. I need to turn off an alarm on my phone. Okay, because I'm actually supposed to leave where I am and be someplace next because I'm actually on the move. Okay, so let me wrap this up quickly. Now, so the final thing is, this guy, the graphic designer, he also doesn't know how to determine if an opportunity is worth pursuing, if a person is worth pursuing. And this is how you do it. You do it through qualification and discovery. Qualification and discovery is the part of the business relationship or the part of the conversation between two people where you're trying to ask questions to figure out who is this person, what do they want, what is this business opportunity about, is it worth my time or not. We all need to have a process for qualification and discovery in your business. If you've never heard about this before, call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. So we need to have a process for qualification and discovery. And sorry about the noise in the background. Like I said, I'm in a public place, so people are walking by, So, where was I? So who starts the conversation is not really important. What is important is how professional and how thorough the conversation is handled. So you are the one. You could be the second person. I mean, how will I put it? You can be the one that starts the conversation. But even if you handle the conversation very well, you're very professional, very thorough, people will look at you and they will rate you. I call up people all the time. You say, call my guy. No problem. I'll call the guy. And by the time people are done with that conversation, they rate me because I'm a consummate professional. I know what it is I'm doing. So it doesn't matter if I'm the first person to initiate the call. So we should stop being afraid. Now, what you need to have in your business is you need to have a qualification and discovery framework or a script or a guideline. And that's the problem with the guy on LinkedIn. He doesn't have a guideline. He doesn't have principles to guide how he's going to reach out to people. Now, the reason why qualification and discovery is important, having conversations with the person to try and figure out who this person is, what they want, how big is the problem, is this problem worth investing time or money in? If you don't have a framework for doing qualification and discovery, what will happen is you end up saying no to people like Dangote. By the way, when I say Dangote, I'm just being hyperbolic here. You can end up saying no to somebody like Dangote or any other valuable client or any other choice client because you never even had a conversation with the person in the first place. You tell the person that no, I'm not going to call, I'm too big for that. Tell the person to call me. Meanwhile, you don't know that it's Dangote on the other end of the line. You don't know that it's billions that is running after you. But you want to be proud. You say no, I won't call first. Tell the other person to call me. So this is the reason why for me, I pursue every single opportunity. I really don't know who's on the other end of the line. I will call. I run everybody through qualification and discovery processes because I'm trying to figure out who is this person? What is the business opportunity? Is it worth my time? If I call the person and I find out that this is a serious opportunity, good, I'll pursue this person. I'll pursue it well because I'm looking for crispy money. I need money. If the person is a wakapas, I will ignore the person. It happens. You can't be in business and not be calling wakapas every now and then. It happens. Like for those of us who are married, think about it now. Will you say you toasted one babe, or if you're a girl, that one boy toasted you and he didn't turn out to be a time waster, he didn't turn out to be a waka pass, he didn't turn out to be a destiny destroyer? It's normal. What you just do is you chalk it up to the game, like, okay, this is how these kind of people are, and then you don't do business with them again. That's all. So if it's a serious person, I will call. If it's a serious person, I'll pursue. If it's waka pass, I will ignore. If the person is just curious, I'll put them into my relationship building and nurturing scheme. You need to have one. Relationship building and nurturing just means you put them somewhere, either in your WhatsApp blast or your email blast, or you call them once in a while. The whole idea with relationship building, relationship nurturing is that people should be seeing your face from time to time. So that's just the goal. Every once in a while, it's supposed they see you. They're going to see your updates. They're going to see your profile. They're going to see your missed call. They're going to see your message. You understand. Because there's some people who are just curious now, but later on they can become mature business opportunities later on. So that is also one thing that this guy had missing in his business. He probably doesn't have a good qualification and discovery process, and it's something that he should have. But honestly speaking, this is not something that should have been considered an insult. And please, whether you agree with my methods or not, please stop this Nigerian thing of any small quarrel. You'll just be posting and sharing this thing on social media. The goal here is to make money. All right? The goal is not to trend, and the goal is not to be to vindicate ourselves and to feel emotionally superior. The goal is to make money, I beg. Is to make money. To make money nicely, to make money quietly, to make money smoothly, to make money easy. So that for those of us who have children, we will acquire something substantial so that when our time is up, can leave something nice for the people behind. Right? Okay, so let me leave it like that. Now, if there are some ideas that you heard here, you're hearing it for the first time, you've never heard of qualification and discovery, you don't have a framework for how to get referrals, let's see what else, and then you don't know how to handle some customer service issues, then reach out to me. Call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Let's have a chat. Let's see if I can help you grow your business and overcome some of these challenges. Some of you are hearing me and you'll be saying that, man, this nigga sounds like he's expensive. Well, I think I'm fairly priced. But if you think I'm expensive, that's not a problem. I'm okay with giving free coaching and free consulting. So what you do is, when you call me, you send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Just tell me that you're looking for free coaching, free consulting. It's not a problem. I will answer your question, but I will answer one question only. If we need to go any deeper, then we'll have to book a proper consulting session. There are hourly sessions available, daily sessions, weekly sessions, monthly sessions, or quarterly sessions. For most people that I deal with, I rarely have to do a quarterly thing, because so far I think it's just 2 clients that we've had quarterly sessions for. But bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid. If I sound expensive, yeah, don't worry, don't be afraid. Just reach out. I'll answer one question. I had to make sure I deliver value to everybody who comes across my path. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I really appreciate you who listen to the podcast, and be sure to share the podcast with other people who might get value from it as well. So thanks for your time and attention. Let me run because I'm late for a meeting. I'll catch you guys some other time.